Yeah, so hi guys. This is Shadow Girl Sherry clocking into TikTok. Guys, I just want to start out by saying happy Halloween to everybody. And if I'm saying Halloween, I want to come out also and say what's up to all the witches. And when I say witches, maybe you're just dressed up as a witch today, or maybe you are the type to where you kind of can consider yourself to be a witch every day. Um, and let me find a way to say that. Okay. Maybe this might, make it to like witch talk or something like that, or maybe it won't. I don't know. But basically what I want to say is when I say witch, um maybe you're just into witchy things, whatever. But either which way you go, I just want to say happy Halloween to everybody. And again, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. And let me tell you a little bit about my channel, and I want to get started on what I want to talk about for Halloween tonight. Okay, guys, so I have talked a little bit, said a couple of things about witches. To make you feel a little bit more comfortable, I'll go ahead and tell you again, I'm sorry, a little bit talkative tonight, but about my channel. Now, when I say witches, my channel, Sunset Songs, my channel is called Sunset Songs, and it's all about my personal journey with the law of attraction. If you're watching this video, if this has popped up on your For You page or whatever like that, you probably already know what the law of attraction is about. The law of attraction is the idea that like attracts like. Through your positive or negative thinking, you are said through the law of attraction to be attracting the same, the such back into your life. If you are thinking and doing and hanging out with like positive people, you're thinking positive thoughts, you're doing positive things, you're hanging out with positive people, then it's so said through the law of attraction that you would be attracting that same type of energy back into your life. You would be attracting more positive thoughts. One thing leads to another. You would be attracting more positive thoughts. You would be attracting more positive people. You would be attracting more positive experiences right back into your life. On the other hand, if you are thinking and doing negative things. You're thinking negative, constantly thinking negative. I mean, I know that negative thoughts slip in, it is a part of life, but if you are thinking negative constantly, you are constantly hanging out with negative people, like somebody that you would think of as a Debbie Downer, or somebody is like a Nancy negative. They're always thinking negative. Okay. That type of thing, hanging out with the negative people, doing negative things, then you are calling, through the law of attraction, negative things, more negative thoughts, more negative people to flow right back into your life. It's basically what you put out, you get back in. It comes back to you. With that being said, it's basically when I say witches and which way do you want to go, my idea is, again, witches, as in which, when I say witches, and I say this whether it would be like today's Halloween, considered what I have heard to be like a bit of a the witch's new year, really. But again, if the word witch makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable or cringe, if it wasn't for the idea of wearing a Halloween costume, then I want you to look at it as, which way do you want to go? Think of the law of attraction. Which way do you want to go? Do you choose to live life in a boring, mundane way, like just whatever happens, happens? Or do you choose to wake up every day and think, okay, I do have control over my life. I can control my thoughts. I can try to make things better. I can live life in a more magical way if I choose to. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to think positive, do positive things, or do you want to go down the route where you're thinking negative and you're constantly doing negative things and you're living life in a boring, mundane way? So I hope with that being said, I've made you feel a little bit more comfortable either way, whether today we're Halloween or not, about the word witch. But again, I year round enjoy kind of witchy things. I'm gonna let you all know that, yesterday? I watched Practical Magic again. I haven't seen Practical Magic in a long time. I'll go ahead and say right now, guys, if you are into witchy movies, if you could leave in the comments what witchy movies you're into, or maybe what scary movies you're into, whatever. Today is Halloween. Did you get any witchy or scary movies in for this spooky or Halloween or witchy like season? Like I'm talking about from like the beginning of October all the way up until now. Did you get any Halloween movies in? Did you get any witchy movies in? Whatever. I did watch Practical Magic. I also I didn't get a chance to watch The Craft, and I love The Craft. That's one of my favorite movies. I meant to put up a little short about it, maybe before the end of the night. Maybe I'll have a chance to do that. Hopefully before Halloween ends, but I'm not sure. But anyway, anyhow, guys, I also want to ask you, maybe, did you dress up? Did you dress up for Halloween, and what did you dress up as? Whether you dressed up as a witch or not, what did you dress up as? With that being said, guys, I am going to go ahead and start explaining now what you are looking at right now. It might look a little bit crazy, but then I also want you to kind of consider the fact that, oh, when it comes to Halloween, you've seen a lot of different things when it comes to Halloween. I think if I'm thinking about it right now, something that just popped up in my mind. I don't know if you've ever seen like somebody make up their porch, and I think it's like you take jeans and you take like two pumpkins, and you kind of have the jeans or something kind of lower. Just use your imagination. I've seen it before, and it's actually somebody like mooning you, like showing their butt, showing their behind. And that's, I guess, a saying happy Halloween or whatever you want to think. But I just want you to think about that before you look at my idea here and think that it's off the wall or crazy or stupid or whatever. I really do feel like Halloween can be a time of year where you can just have a lot of fun. Okay, so with that being said, guys, what you are looking at right now is basically, I do believe maybe it was last year. I think I picked up this costume last year, and I wanted to dress up in it, but I didn't. Um, this is actually, I think, I don't have the packaging right here, with me right now, but let's see. It really was on the packaging. And maybe I'll put it over on my channel, Sunset Songs. I also want to let you guys know that here on TikTok, you can find me under Shadow Girl Sherry. That's what I go by. My name, Shadow Girl Sherry. You can find me under Sherry's Shadow Closet. And if you go ahead and follow me over on YouTube, which I hope you will, you can find me under Shadow Girl Sherry, Shadow Girl Sherry, Sherry's Shadow Closet, or guys, my main channel. No matter where I'm at, Shadow Girl Sherry, Sherry's Shadow Closet. I'm always going to introduce put my channel and introduce my channel as Sunset Songs. Again, I already told you that my channel is called Sunset Songs, all about my personal journey with the law of attraction. And here in just a little bit, I'm going to let you in on the idea of what a sunset song is. But that'll all come. You might even be able to see something written on the piece of paper that I have laid out in the video. And then again, maybe you can't, but I'll let you know about all that. I'll tell you what's written on the paper. But anyhow, guys, I want to say hi to everybody. I see a Joel's Dreams. I see a Rowena. Guys, I just want to say what's up to everybody. Happy Halloween. I hope you've had a good day and a good night and all that. So anyhow, guys, what you are looking at right now is a Halloween costume that I picked up last year. It is actually the Cemetery Bride. And I have it written down on the piece of paper that's laid out in the video. If you've watched any of my other videos, you already know that sometimes when I have a chance, I have a different kind of a way in writing things out. Kind of looks like a puzzle, really, but I'm going to read it to you. Basically, it says Sunset Songs because that's the name of my channel. Down from the sun and the Sunset Songs, you see and then you see Cemetery, and then you see the Cemetery Bride. well, maybe I should say it this way. You see the cemetery corpse bride, or you see the cemetery bride. And also written in there is what I call a sunset song. And I'm going to explain that here in just a little bit. But basically, guys, the reason why I have basically the cemetery or the corpse bride laid out in this video, obviously, is because, it's Halloween. But guys, last year when I picked up this outfit, there was a part of me that wanted to dress up in it, and I did. I dressed up in it, to see what I look like and all that. And guys, I'm also going to say again, I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. That is because you may already know what shadow work is. So if you are watching this video, it may mean that you need to do a little bit of shadow work because you are watching the video of somebody that goes by Shadow Girl Sherry. So you might want to look into what shadow work is. But I also want to let you know that if you've watched any of my other videos, you already know that I don't show up in my videos. I don't make an appearance in my videos. And it's all about, well, it's a long story. It's about a safety thing. It's about a comfort thing. And it's about that sooner or later, hopefully I will kind of get over what we call it stage fright, or I just feel like it's a comfort thing to be able to share my voice and to share my stories and all that. And, I don't want to talk about that too much and waste time on Halloween. But I also think, again, that I think that people like a little bit of mystery. There's nothing wrong with a mystery in life. And I just think it works. So anyhow, with that being said, you don't know what I look like. And at the same time, I just basically had this idea where I dressed up in the costume. I took pictures. I do want to dress up sometime and take pictures of myself in the costume. I dressed up in it, but I never took pictures. Hopefully somewhere along the line, I will share those pictures, just like I have so many other pictures and things to share with you guys and let you know what I look like and all that. But anyhow, the whole idea here, it just came to me, when I'm looking, even when I was looking at the costume in the store, and I've thought about it before, and when I brought the costume home, whatever, like, I kind of wonder where the whole story of the corpse bride started. Like, where did the whole idea of a cemetery bride, how did it originate, or how did it get started? There was another reason why I got the cemetery bride as well. I just want to kind of say what's up to all the ladies and even you guys, whatever. It's not just about women falling in love and all that kind of different thing. I just want to share a little bit of something here. Guys, I'm not married. I'm not married. I do not have children. I'm not married and I don't have children. I've said that in other videos. And I don't know why I'm feeling like I want to say this right now. If it were about like 6 o'clock right now, it kind of came to me to say this, and I thought about it earlier. If it were maybe about 6 o'clock or 6:30, something like that, I don't know what time the trick-or-treaters would be coming out in your area, or if this is, yeah, it's not a school night. It's not a school night because, well, today's Friday. So, it's not a school night or anything like that. So I can't say that, you have to think about getting up early like getting your kids in bed early so they can get up and go to school in the morning. So that's not the issue. So most likely I'm thinking that in your area, everybody did their trick-or-treating, took their kids out and did their trick-or-treating tonight. You don't have to wait for the weekend or anything like that. So I'll say that. But I do kind of feel like by 9 o'clock now, it's 9:09. Maybe for the most part, trick-or-treaters and trick-or-treating is pretty much wrapped up. I don't know. I mean, depending on where you are. Guys, let me know, like, wherever you are, where are you tuning in from? Where are you tuning in from? Did you see any trick-or-treaters today? Whatever you want to say. I just want to get you guys to feel like you can leave leave more comments and things like that. It's not all about me. I did say this is about my personal journey with the law of attraction, but it's also the idea that I'm trying to take you on the journey with me as well and help you on your journey. We're doing this thing together. So I wanted to say that. So feel free to leave, any comments that you want to leave. And let me know where you're tuning in from. Did you see any trick-or-treaters today? What was the most, unique costume you saw today? Whatever. But I'm just thinking about maybe at about 6 o'clock today, and I'm thinking about like right now, it's 9:10. It's 10 minutes after 9. And I guess depending on where you are at, I'm thinking that maybe for the most part, trick or treating is maybe almost over with. Now, when I was a kid, that wasn't the idea. We would stay out a long time, and take like a, no lie, like have like a trash bag, and I'm not lying, full of candy. And, it was a different kind of time or whatever. And I'm not even going to go into age and all that. But I'm going to say that maybe at around 6 o'clock is when 6:30 is when you might start really seeing the trick-or-treaters, right? That's just what I'm thinking. In my area, that's usually the way it happens. But I had wanted to start this video at about 6 o'clock, 6:30, but I had other things that I had to do. I did have some, food and cooking that I had to do for my family. But that's a whole other story. Got that going and had dinner, whatever. But I did think of the idea of, again, I did let you guys know that I don't have children and I am not married. Okay. Um, and my idea is if I had been making my video at about 6 o'clock, 6:30, I'm thinking about the women that would have been joining me at that point. I'm kind of thinking that if I had started making this video at maybe about 6 o'clock, 6:30, that would have been the time where a lot of women, especially of a certain age, they would possibly, if they, you and your family, your kids, whatever, celebrate Halloween. There would have been a big chance that you would have been out. If you had young children and stuff, you would be out taking your kids trick-or-treating. You would be out with them trick-or-treating at that, around about that time. Okay. So if you were not doing that and you celebrate Halloween and all that kind of different thing, then maybe you may have joined me at that time, possibly because you don't have children. You don't have children. Um, you could be married, and that doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, I'm not married, but maybe you're not married. I don't know. Maybe you're not married. Um, Maybe I would just think that maybe you don't have children. And maybe that's why you had the time to join me at that time, because you had something in common with me. Just like I think that anytime that I get on TikTok, I always say that obviously if this is shown up on your For You page, there is a big possibility that if we were to meet in real life, there's a big possibility that we would possibly be friends in real life, because you're probably into the kind of things that I'm into. You're into the law of attraction. You're into witchy things. You might be a little bit closet about it, that, yes or no closet, I don't know. But you might be into it. Whereas some of the people that I could have a blood relation to, we may know each other or whatever, but we may not be like the closest. And not to say that I'm kind of like a black sheep in my family. I kind of look at myself that way. Um, but I think you get what I'm saying. But basically, I feel like there's a reason why at that point a woman may have, been watching, may have joined in with the live or whatever. And I want to ask anybody, am I right? Or is there any women here that's joined this live that maybe you don't have children? It's just a question. Maybe you don't have children. I've already shared I don't have children. I'm not a mom. Um, but that is kind of what made me think of this particular um, costume last year for whatever reason. And I'm only being honest. This is kind of what made me think of this costume and kind of want to know the story of where it originated. Where did the corpse bride or the cemetery bride, how did it get started? Because I'm just thinking about a woman, and I'm thinking about love, because obviously it's a woman, it's a bride. So I'm thinking about a woman, and I'm just wondering, how did it all get started? And I myself, um, I was just kind of drawn to the costume. And I don't know if anybody here has heard of that idea. I've heard people in the spiritual community. I don't know the way you would look at it, whatever. I've seen a couple of videos where it said that you should kind of be careful. Like, not everybody's aware of it, but you should kind of be careful what outfit, even though you think it's all in good fun and all that. Like, what outfit, what are you dressing up as? Because when you put that on and you've dressed up for it, and you have like had that idea in your mind to go and pick up this particular costume and wear it, it's kind of like, just for that little bit of time, you've kind of embodied it, because you are trying to act out kind of like the costume that you're wearing. Like, you should just consider it. Are you wearing something that's kind of creepy and really scary and whatever? That's just, I've seen that in the spiritual community, and I've always thought that it was always in good fun or whatever, but I've just seen where, just kind of think about it a little bit. And I'm thinking about, there was some movie, oh God, was the guy playing the Joker? Oh, help me out here, guys. I know you know what I'm talking about. There was, I think it was somebody that was a part of the 27 Club, where I think he may have been playing the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, okay? And he got so into that. There's a whole story behind it. I've kind of forgotten about it, but he gotten so drawn into that character. And that's what it makes me think of when you think about, okay, going and just, picking up a Halloween costume and putting it on. Like, he started kind of really serious about the part that he was playing. And there's a whole other story about that. I've kind of forgot the story, but that's what it made me think of when I heard about the idea of, when you dress up at Halloween, kind of think about what you're dressing up as. Okay. But anyhow, I think I had already picked up this costume before I had come across these videos saying that, right? And one of the reasons why I just thought about getting the costume was because I'm thinking, well, hey, it's a bride. I'm not married. It just made me think of, how did this woman, why is she dead? Why is this a corpse bride? Like, is this saying that, I don't know, like, is there a crazy story behind it? Because I do know stories where love has gone wrong. Somebody may have gotten married and love went wrong. You hear about the stories all the time. They're on TV. They even say that a lot of times if somebody's murdered, and I don't want to get all negative and all that, because my channel's not about that. But today is Halloween. There are scary movies on TV and all that. That, blood and gore, it's out there just for this day, and then tomorrow, whatever. But we always have the news. You know what I'm saying? There's always stuff in the news. So if it's made the news, then it's reality. It's really going on. And there's stories behind whatever is you're viewing on the news. And I've seen where they often say that if somebody has been murdered or whatever like that, it might be somebody that, that they know is somebody that's close to them. They might that start, asking the husband or the wife, like, they go missing or whatever, something. They want to start there. Okay. This is just what's coming to my mind right now, guys. Again, I want to say what's up to everybody. I see a Annie Smiley. I see a Brenda. I see a Corp. I don't want to start saying people's names wrong. I really don't. But what's up, guys? Happy Halloween. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight, because you could be out doing, I don't know, doing something different. I don't know, egging a house, or I don't know, what's the thing I've heard about people, what, putting toilet paper around. There's pranks going on tonight too. You know that there are different pranks that are going on. Teenagers and all that. And I don't know if I have any teenagers in the house or whatever. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for joining me. So anyhow, I want to jump into this, and deliver the story, because believe me, um, I really did, when I thought about, okay, what is the whole story behind the Cemetery Bride? What is the whole story behind the Cemetery Bride? How did it originate? All that. Okay. And guys, I love to do research. I love to find out a story. That's part of the reason why I started my YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel and all that. I did say this is about my personal journey with the law of attraction, where there's been times where, this is kind of like a diary. You guys at times are going to know things about me that maybe, a family member, if we're not the closest, we're family, but we're not the closest, I may not share these stories with them. And it's also a thing of, I can get on here and talk and say what kind of, what I want to say, because, well, I'm safe. You don't know me in real life, and you don't even know what I look like. Hopefully in time, you will, but it kind of makes me feel comfortable to be able to talk and share stories and all that. And kind of open up my diary, and when I think about, the law of attraction and all that, I also want to mention that, I just want to talk about quickly mention a thing called scripting. If you have watched any of my other videos, or I won't say that, if you are into the law of attraction, you've probably already heard what scripting is. So it's all about, maybe instead, if you have a diary, that would be kind of like the idea of, having a diary, but you're writing things out as in what you want your life to be like, and you're writing it out as in it has already happened. So it's scripting, and you're basically scripting your life out, right? The way you're wanting to bring it down, the way you're wanting to live your life. You're writing it down as if it's already happened, like in the present moment. So, I've always had diaries, but now it's not, and I may have diaries, still, because I had a lot of them back in the day, but now it's more of scripting. So I'll share that. But guys, I really started, I really wanted to know who's the corpse bride? What is there a story? Is there really a corpse bride? Which, honestly, that there are corpse brides. There are cemetery brides. There are, young women, people. I don't want to bring anybody down. Basically, I just wanted to see what the origin of the story was. Like, who is this woman? If we could give her a story, obviously there's tons of them, but where did it originate from? If this sounds like something that's interesting to you, this has popped up on your For You page, I hope that you will go ahead and, basically, I'm going to say, come inside for the story. Maybe a little bit of a ghost story. So, guys, the stuff, I took notes. Obviously I did some research and all that. And there is going to be a different time that I'm going to try to bring this story, open the book back up again. This is just how I want to start it. And I wanted to start it sometime within this month of Halloween, obviously, because it's a Halloween costume. And I took the time, to lay it out, to lay the costume out. It might look a little bit crazy to you, but the head obviously is a ball. I took a ball, and I think about, my channel's called Sunset Songs, and if you think about a sunset, it is, and the fact that I call myself Shadow Girl Sherry, that is like the energy of duality. The sunlight is in there, and the day starts up, with the sun. But then I've talked about the sun, but then at the same time, my channel is called Sunset Songs. So then you have the energy of darkness. at a sunset, the day is ending and you're going into the night. And then obviously the moon's going to be coming up. So if you're looking at the ball right now, that's her head really. You could think about a sun because you think about, round, or you could think about the moon, right? And I'll go ahead and say that, obviously, I think I've already said that my channel is about, just the law of attraction and all that, and which way do you want to go? But I am into witchy things. So with that being said, I do like work with the elements of nature. I like working with the phases of the moon and all that and manifesting with them, working with those phases. So, working with, I'm always trying to be positive, but at the same time, it is a world of duality. My idea is to, when something negative happens, my idea is I want to transmute it and make it work. I want to turn it into something better, like alchemize it, if that makes sense. So the head really, it's just a ball. It's a ball, but that ball is, it's kind of gray looking, but it's white and black. So that's like duality. You've got light and you've got dark. Okay. And I go by Shadow Girl Sherry. I also made another video, and guys, I could talk forever. I am a Gemini, so just know that. I am a Gemini. But and for me, TikTok is a great thing and YouTube is a great thing, all that. But guys, you're probably most likely I'm not gonna have any problem filling this an hour up here on TikTok. So the video is most likely is going to go over an hour. So you can come back later on, and which I hope you will come back later on and tune in and check out the clips. Or I definitely hope that you will go ahead and consider joining me over on YouTube under my, channel, Sunset Songs. Like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things. And, but with that being said, there was another time that I actually made a video where that particular ball I kind of used it, as to kind of dress up like a pregnant woman. So the ball was, the belly bump. Okay, but now I'm taking the same ball and I'm talking about a corpse bride. And there is I'm going to say a rendition of the story that has something to do with a young woman and her unborn baby. So it turns out it really is a lot to the story. So I hope that I can keep you I can entertain you tonight for Halloween. That's my whole idea. So I want to kind of explain everything that you're looking at. You see the ball, you see hair, obviously you see the costume. I have the words gather because that's asking everybody to come and gather with me, whatever. The flowers, obviously when there is, a funeral or whatever, you have flowers. That I just had to grab some fake flowers. I do believe those are lilies. But above that, you see a lipstick tube. And normally when I think about love, or I think about, even if when I think about, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and usually funerals that I've went to, the preacher, or, he takes roses, and roses are placed on top of the casket. You get what I'm saying? Like, on top of the casket, there's roses placed. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Okay, not trying to get morbid or anything, but this is a whole story. So it just so happened that the lipstick that's laying there, I forget the full name, but Rose was a part of the name. I don't have that lipstick right now. Got a little bit, just, it was time to throw it away, so I threw it away. But there was the name Rose was in it because it's like a pinkish kind of red lipstick. So I wanted to share that. And you see a tarot card. Guys, everything, the way I'm going to lay it out, I got quite the story to tell. so I'm going to pick up with the story. So let me go ahead and read the information that I found about the origin of the corpse bride. Um, Maybe I should go ahead and let you know right now the Sunset Song as well. Guys, I do say that my channel is called Sunset Songs. With that being said, if you've watched any of my other videos, then you already know that before I make a video or I come on live, I basically ask my higher self or my spirit to basically give me what is called a sunset song. Um, Basically, a sunset song is the idea that I ask my higher before I um come before I go live or before I make a video in whatever format I make it, whether I go live or I've made it already. um Obviously I'm going to have a subject, so I ask my higher self, or my spirit, whatever, give me a song, play a song in my mind, put a song in on my heart, and that is basically tailored around whatever the subject matter is. So, guys, I had come up with this idea to talk about the origin of the Cemetery Bride um, a while back, right? And I decided I wanted to do it for Halloween. So within this month, I laid all this out. You're looking at a cardboard, and the cardboard's brown like dirt, as if she were going to be buried or whatever. And so just use your imagination. But the song, I want to go ahead and let you know the song that popped up in my mind. And it's so crazy the way it comes out, guys. The song that popped up in my mind for this particular episode, my channel Sunset Songs, you may be able to see it written down, and maybe you can't make out what it is. But the song that I have written down for this particular episode, guys, it's a song that was made in the 80s. I didn't get a chance. I had looked up information on the song and I had more to share. But again, this is a bit of a story that's going to be, I can come back, and even since this is a bit of like a love story and it's talking about a woman, it's talking about love and all that, if I get a chance, I want to open this story or this book, whatever you want to say. I want to continue it later on, during Valentine's. Because if you think about it, there is a lover's tarot card. If you are familiar with tarot, there is a lover's tarot card. And when you think about the lovers, and you think about marriage and all that, the idea is till death do us part. So to me, that's all. It all wraps up together. And there does right now, I think that there is this. You can go at Halloween, and you can, there's that story of till death do us part. The corpse and the skeleton, like the man and the woman skeleton or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And then but I can refresh this idea and give it new life, even at around Valentine's Day, if I so choose, if I get enough time to do that. So I've always got so many different ideas in my mind, so many different stories, and I find a way to bring them to life or whatever. And I got to look at it and think, okay, which one do I want to talk about tonight? Which one am I going to use in this particular month? Which one's more exciting, or which one do I want to talk about more? So we'll just work it that way. But the sunset song for this particular episode, talking about the Cemetery Bride, the Corpse Bride, whatever, the song that popped up in my heart and started playing in my mind. I wonder, I don't want to, talk about age or whatever, but this song, I do believe, I know it was made in the 80s. There was a group called Tears for Fears. There was an 80s group called Tears for Fears, and they had a song. This was probably, let's see, Tears for Fears. They had a couple of different songs that I liked. But Tears for Fears had a song called Head Over Heels. And for whatever reason, that's the song that started playing in my heart, Head Over Heels. I looked it up, guys, and listen to this. Listen to this. Now, I set this up. I didn't set this setup, this picture, this stage, this scene or whatever up tonight. I didn't set it up on Halloween night. I think I may have set this up like October. It was sometime a lot earlier this month. I laid it out and I'm like, okay, I'm going to set it up, make it look as good as I can make it, whatever. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to write down, collect the ideas, the stories, go back and find out, more about information about the song, maybe about the group, and whatever I can find out about this woman's story, and basically give her life, for this Halloween night or this month, whatever. Give her life, breathe life back into her and tell her story. And I looked it up, and guys, again, I didn't set this scene up today. I did this before. And it's so funny. If you go and look up the actual song by Tears for Fears, the video that they made for this song, Tears for Fears, the song by Tears for Fears, the song is called Head Over Heels, right? And I looked it up to see what it meant. Maybe I'll come back and talk about that more, but think about it, head over heels. Somebody has fell head over heels basically in love. That's what the story's about. The guy, in Tears for Fears, there's a story behind it, just like there's a story behind every song. I'm not going to go all into that tonight because I don't have time. And, I want to get to the rest of the story. But obviously, head over heels is a saying. I even looked up the origin of that. I won't go into it tonight. But it's obviously talking about being head over heels in love, right? And it just so happens, guys, if you go and you look up the actual video to the song by Tears for Fears called Head Over Heels, you look up the video, there is a monkey in the video, right? It's the scene or the setting for that video. It's in a library. That's outdated. You can tell that's the 80s, you know what I mean? It was the scene or the stage, whatever, the way it's set up, the video is made in a library. And I think the idea was that the young man in the video he had fallen head over heels in love with the librarian. Okay. He had fallen head over heels with the librarian. I think. Now, I do think that. I'll hopefully be able to come back and present it, and, have the exact details, whatever. But I'm just thinking off the top of my head and whatever. But I do believe, if I can remember right, the idea was this young man had fallen in love head over heels with the librarian. Okay. And in the video, you see the librarian, you see a young man, whatever, this head over heels. You see all the books and all that different stuff. And the craziest thing, think about the 80s, guys. There's a monkey in the library. And I'm like, what in the world? They're probably saying like monkeying around, like he just fell head over heels and he's kind of like nuts, like, head over heels. He's maybe nuts in love. I don't know if that was the idea of the monkey, but there is a monkey sitting in this video in the library. Okay. Guys, did you hear about the story, what happened? I think it was called, I think that the town or whatever, I got it written somewhere in Texas, right? And it happened within the last couple of days. And that's why I think it's funny. No lie, I did not write that paperwork up today. I didn't do it today. I didn't write that paperwork up today. I didn't think of the song today. I didn't lay out the setup, anything, the scene, anything up today. I did this earlier in the month. And I thought about it today. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've got to do this one today. This is going to be what I'm going to go live and talk about today. Guys, did you hear? I just told you that in this video by Tears for Fears, Head Over Heels, there is a monkey featured in the video, right? Did you guys hear in the news about, it happened maybe within the last 3 days, right? There is a Spirit Halloween store in Texas. This happened in a Spirit Halloween store. We all know Spirit Halloween store, right? This happened in a Spirit Halloween store. Okay. No, I wrote it down. Let me find it. I wrote it down. Basically, there was a lady, there was a woman who took her pet monkey, took her pet monkey with her to the Spirit Halloween store, right? The monkey, she's got him in a diaper, you know, kind of like he's a little baby, whatever, has him diapered up and everything. And she takes her pet monkey to the Spirit Halloween store. Obviously, you know, you're in the Halloween store, there's going to be scary scenes, whatever. The little monkey gets scared by a display, a Halloween display. He gets startled and he runs off, right? He gets away from his owner. And he starts climbing in the ceiling, like in the rafters, because he got scared, he got startled by this Halloween display. He runs off, gets scared by the Halloween display. He runs up in the rafters, whatever. The cops were called, everything. It sounds so cute, but it's a real story. Look it up, guys. And what happens is the owner, the way that they capture him is because they showed him a cookie. They get the little monkey to come down and everything, diapered and everything. He comes back because they show him a cookie. I thought that was so cute that happened at the Halloween store. And here I had already, it made me think of the video. Like I had already come up with this idea weeks ago about, you know, it popped up, you know, my channel's called Sunset Songs. I try to come up with a song before I go live or anytime I make a video. The song that pops up that's tailored around the subject matter, which is this corpse bride, whatever. Obviously, there is a story of love here because we're dealing with a bride. Somehow she died, whatever. And in which I'm going to tell you the story. There's a couple of different stories, and there's lots of tales of love gone wrong, obviously. But here I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, oh my goodness! In that video by Tears for Fears, there's a monkey in the video. And I'm like, now I've got to make the video now. I've got to share it. So yes, that really did happen. Look it up. I think it was Plano. It's here in my notes, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'll hopefully get to that a little bit later on. But again, I think it was Plano or something, Texas, that this happened. It's real story. Spirit Halloween store, and here I'm thinking about this video by Tears for Fears that was made in the 80s. So go figure. So you also see a tarot card. I'm gonna break that down as well. That's another story. Every time I start investigating a story or whatever, or even looking into the song that has popped up in my mind to be the Sunset Song, I often find that there is a story behind it that is so linked to whatever I'm talking about, right? It usually happens that way. And I thought that was so funny about that Spirit Halloween store. But anyhow, I will later on come back and share with you what the tarot card means. I hope I'm not going to run off and forget about that. But obviously, this is going to go over an hour. I hope you're going to stick around and hear everything. But now I'm basically going to begin telling you the story about the corpse bride, because if I could blow this picture up, I don't know how you're watching this video right now, how if you can make out everything that's written down on the paper that I have, Sunset Songs, the cemetery corpse bride, the cemetery bride, whatever, in there, written within there. Obviously I've said that the Sunset Song that I chose for this particular episode is by Tears for Fears. So, I have the word tears written down, coming down, cascading down from the word cemetery. There's tears because within that word, there's cemetery, there's a T. Down from that, I write down tears. Okay. And, I've just got it written down. The song is by Tears for Fears. That's the group. And the name is Head Over Heels. I wanted to think about it. I'm like, okay, am I going to make this? I want to put tears in it. So I included that in with the art, I'll say. But there could also be, an idea of blood, because we're talking about a corpse bride. And I'm going to jump into all that right now. I'm going to start telling you the story of the corpse bride and what I found in my investigation, really. Okay, guys. So just get ready for the story. Okay, so basically, the Cemetery Bride story generally, and I looked this up, AI, whatever. The Cemetery Bride story generally refers to two primary origins: a real life story, a real life legend, two different stories, where the idea of this originates from. One is a real life legend surrounding a young lady, and I can pronounce her first name. It's Julia. But her, I guess maybe middle last name, I'm just gonna have to spell it. And then if you want to look it up, it's a real story. You can look it up. But her first name was Julia. Okay. And the next name is it Paccola. Paccola. I'm gonna spell it out. Buccola. Okay. The next name that's a part of it, Julia Paccola. I'm not saying that I'm pronouncing it right. I know I'm not. Is Petta, Petta. This is the young lady's name. Okay. This is a story in the United States. Okay, and the other idea, it actually came from an ancient Jewish folktale. But where I'm going to start is I'm going to tell you there's other ideas of a corpse bride. I found other stories of it, but that'll have to be another time that I have to come back and share their stories. But for right now, who I'm going to start out with is going to be Julia, and I've spelled out the rest of her name. You can go ahead and look it up if you want. Okay. Okay. The legend of Julia Paccola Petta, the story is basically the Italian bride. This is the story of the Italian bride. This is a real story, a real life legend, okay? And it surrounds this young lady that is basically, I guess they called her the Italian bride, okay? This is a prominent local legend in the Chicago, this is a prominent local legend in the Chicago area, centered around Mount Carmel Cemetery in Hillside, Illinois. Okay? Okay, the story. Julia Paccola Petta. Sorry, I don't mean to mispronounce her name, but I can't pronounce it. Okay, so I'll just say Julia. Julia died in 1921 at the age of 29 during childbirth, and was buried in her wedding dress with her stillborn son. Okay, so basically you've got a woman, this young woman, Julia, where this was back in 1921. She died in childbirth, right? Okay, so she's buried in her wedding dress with her stillborn son. Okay, shortly after her burial, her mother, and I'm going to spell her name out, okay, is Philomena. I'm going to spell it out. Filomena. And guys, go ahead and feel free to look it up. But again, her mother, Filomena, the last name is the young lady, began having reoccurring nightmares in which Julia claimed she had been buried alive and pleaded for her grave to be opened. So her mother was having these reoccurring dreams after she was buried that her daughter Julia was claiming in her dreams that she had been buried alive and pleaded for her grave to be opened. Okay, so they go ahead and they exhume her body. Okay, so after 6 years of this persistent dream, whatever, the mother secured permission to have the body exhumed. She had her daughter's body exhumed, and this happened in 1927. Okay, and to the shock of those present, to the shock of the people that were present, when she was exhumed, Julia's body was found was found to be perfectly preserved with no sign of decomposition, while her infant son's body had decomposed. So this is the story of the cemetery bride. You can go ahead and look it up. I kind of breathed life back into her, and I just wanted to tell her story. Like, who's the cemetery bride? How to get started? Okay, so let me finish. There's more to her story. The monument. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about the monument. This is like her, I guess, headstone. Her headstone. Okay, the monument and legend. A photograph was taken of Julia in her coffin, which I'm sorry, I wrote this stuff down pretty fast. Okay, I'm talking about her monument, or her, or like her cemetery plot, her final resting place, her headstone. You get what I'm saying. The monument and legend. A photograph was taken of Julia, while she was in the coffin, which was. Okay, it was embedded in her. The picture was embedded in her elaborate grave monument, featuring a life-size statue of her in her wedding gown. Okay, the mysterious preservation okay, this is now I've told you about the monument, or headstone, whatever. It was made, the idea was it was tailored around a picture of her in her casket, and obviously in her coffin she's dressed in her wedding gown. Okay, the cemetery bride, she's buried in her wedding gown, and they took a picture of her, and it's made into an elaborate grave monument, where it's featuring a life-size statue of her in her wedding gown. Okay, now this is more information that I looked up. Okay, the preservation, I guess, basically when they exhumed her body. Okay, the idea was possibly the reason why it was preserved so well was due to the soil conditions, or the embalming fluid led to a local legend, and people have reported seeing her ghost. So basically, that's a bit of a ghost story. People have since, have said that they have there's been spottings of or sightings of her ghost, of this young lady's ghost, and they call the story of the legend, in the sighting of her, a woman in white wandering the cemetery grounds at night. Okay, so that's the story of Julia. So there was a story of a cemetery bride. She was a young woman that died in childbirth. So that's the story, one story of a cemetery bride, and how it basically got started. Okay, and then there is another story. Okay, now let me look it up. Let me get this paperwork gathered together, and make sure that I've got it right. Okay, so I told you the story of the cemetery bride. Okay, I've got that. So let me set that aside there. Those notes aside. Okay, now. Okay, let me read this one. Okay, the story. I gotta make sure that I got all this right, guys. I do apologize. Because it's quite the story that I gathered, guys. So I'm just gonna kind of read the notes, and you just follow along. Okay, so basically, this cemetery bride, it was the inspiration for the cemetery bride. The story most famously adapted in Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. You've heard of it. Tim Burton had a story, and this story was adapted into this. Famously adapted into Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Comes primarily from a 17th century Jewish folktale called The Finger. This story and its underlying... Now I'm not going to read that part because it's kind of jumbled, whatever. But there is a Jewish folk tale called The Finger. And let me try to get this together. Okay. And again, this is basically how the whole story of Tim Burton's The Corpse Bride originated, right? Okay, it's a whole story behind all this. Okay, so The Finger. Okay, the story. A young man is on his way to his wedding when, as a joke or a practice of his vows, he places his wedding ring on what he believes is a small branch or finger-shaped stick protruding from the ground. So obviously this is a story of a young man, the folktale. This is a young man that's, about to get married. He's got the wedding ring, whatever, and he's maybe gone for a walk or whatever. And he's walking and he stumbles across what he thinks is a stick that's just protruding up, from the ground, right? He's walking. He thinks that he sees a stick and it's protruding from the ground. But what it turns out to be is a finger. So that's why it's called The Finger. Okay? As a joke or a practice of his vows, he places his wedding ring on what he believes is a small branch or a finger-shaped stick protruding from the ground. The branch is actually the finger of a murdered bride buried in a shallow grave, who then rises and claims the man as her husband. Okay? So here he's walking around, he's walking along, he sees a stick, something that he thinks is a stick. Instead of it being a stick, it's the finger of a murdered bride. And she then, raises up from the shallow grave, and then she rises up from the grave and claims him as her husband. Now, what becomes of it? The resolution to this. In most recent versions, the couple goes to a rabbi to settle the dispute. The rabbi, with sympathy, explains to the corpse bride that the living and the dead cannot marry. Hearing this, the corpse bride weeps and dissolves into dust or bones. Finally finding peace often with the living. Okay, let me get this right. Okay, so basically the rabbi explains to her that the living and the dead, they can't marry. So the corpse bride, she weeps. I guess she's sad, so she's weeping. And with all her weeping and all that, she dissolves into dust or bones. Okay. And then finally, finding peace. She finally finds peace, often with the living bride. The way that she finds peace, this is the way it's described, this is the way she gets to get her peace, is because the living bride, this is the bride that this guy was going to marry, not the corpse bride. The corpse bride has, she's so sad because she can't have this living man because she's dead. She, she's sad and she weeps and she died, or she's already dead, but she dissolves. And ashes to ashes, dust to dust, she dissolves into dust, whatever, or bones. And the way that peace is given to her is because the living bride, that I guess he goes ahead and he marries, promises to remember her by ensuring that she gets a proper memorial. So that is the way that she gets her peace. The corpse bride gets her peace because the living bride has basically promised this corpse bride that she's going to make sure that she is going to get a proper memorial. Instead of, okay, she was murdered. She was murdered by, I guess her husband, whatever, or another man, whatever. And, she's in her wedding gown and she's murdered. And then this guy, the other guy comes along, finds her. His real wife that he goes ahead and he marries, he gives this corpse bride peace. She gives the corpse bride peace by making sure that she gets the proper memorial. And guys, I just saw the number 444. Why did I see the number 444? Because right now, within 4 minutes and 44 seconds, now it's lower than that, but 4 minutes, 44 seconds, I will have gone over an hour talking. I told you I have no problem doing that. I'm a Gemini, and with Gemini energy, if you know about it, um, I'm talkative. And in real life, a lot of, people that I know actually think that, I'm quiet and I don't have a lot to say, but I have a lot to say, but basically I save it for you guys. I save it for you guys. I'd save my being long-winded and my stories for you guys. And I know that when I've read this stuff, it sounds a little jumbled or whatever, but I'm just trying to deliver the story to you and read out what I found and whatever and deliver it to you. And I hope you're getting it. But basically, I wanted to share that story with you. The way that the corpse bride gets her piece, because, obviously she's sad because here, yet again, she didn't get the man that she thought was going to be her husband. Some other woman gets him. So the way that she gets her piece is because this other bride that he goes ahead and he marries, she gives the corpse bride peace by giving her the proper memorial that she wouldn't have gotten had he not stumbled across, upon her and, found her finger and put the ring on top of her finger, and then she comes to life and claims him. She wouldn't have gotten that proper memorial the other way. So you get what I'm saying. I don't have to keep going on about that. So that is the story of the corpse bride. Now, there are other stories that go with that. And, I'm actually going to take it, hopefully, at around Valentine's Day. I'm going to give this corpse bride life again. When I talk about find a way to team it up with the Lover's Tarot card, because obviously, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I'm into kind of like witchy things or whatever. And, I do like the assistance of tarot cards. And I really do, I believe in them. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and share something else with you. This was another like crazy synchronicity, right? And I want you to hear me out. Now, if you look at the picture, the paper that I've wrote up in this different way that, that I have a way in writing things out. It's written out. I've told you the Sunset song, Tears for Fears. That's the name of the group. They had a song called Head Over Heels, and that's the song that started playing in my mind. And, I made that the Sunset song for this episode of my channel, Sunset Songs. Obviously, because when you think about head over heels, and even when you look up the definition of head over heels, it all started from just being in something where you're head over heels, and you think about love. And obviously with Tears for Fears, he was head over heels in love, right? So, but the paperwork of getting it written out, I've explained it to you guys. It just so happened on the day that I set this stage, I set this scene up, this scene up of the corpse bride, made it out, basically gave her life and wanted to tell her story. So I wanted you guys to know what the costume looked like and whatever. That very same day, for whatever reason, I think what it was, I think that I went to the place where I keep my tarot cards, my Rider-Waite tarot deck. And I opened up the deck, right? Opened up my personal tarot deck. And if you know anything about tarot, you know that when a tarot reader starts doing a tarot reading and she starts shuffling the cards, if a card separates itself from the deck, like if it flies out from the reading, like separates itself, even though you're doing the reading and you lay the cards out or whatever, sometimes the tarot cards will separate themselves and they fly out, because it's basically said to be like a message from spirit or from your higher self or whatever. This is something extra that you need to know. So whether you picked the card or not, it picked you. So the card has flown out. So it's got a message for you. Okay. What happened for me that day was I wanted to go to my personal tarot deck, and I just wanted to lay the Lover's Tarot card out, because obviously this is the Cemetery Bride obviously has something to do with love. So because I'm talking about love, and this is like a channel where I talk about my personal journey with the law of attraction. I talk about things like crystals. I talk about tarot cards. I wanted to just lay within the video. I wanted to lay it out in the video, part of the scene. I wanted to lay the Lover's Tarot card out. Well, it just so happened that instead of me finding my Lover's Tarot card, it's in the deck, obviously, a particular tarot card flies out. Guys, I'm not lying to you. I'm not making this up. This really happened. I wasn't shuffling my deck or whatever. Basically what I was doing was I was going to start looking through each card because I was trying to find my Lover's Tarot card within the deck. Well, before I even got a chance to start doing that, a particular tarot card kind of separates itself, basically. It drops out, comes up, and it separates. It's the only one that's standing away from all the other cards, right? So I'm like, okay, let me see what this tarot card is. Guys, no lie, the tarot card that popped up, instead of, I'm looking for the Lover's Tarot card. I didn't get to the Lover's Tarot card. The tarot card that pops up, it kind of separates itself at that time, was a tarot card. I don't know if you're familiar with the tarot. Is the Ace of Wands. I had to include it in this scene or setup or whatever for you guys, and basically say that not only do I look at it as this card was like a message for me, but I kind of feel like if you are tuning in to this live, or you later on stumble upon, or you, whatever, when you watch this live, or you come back and you're watching this video, this is a message for you, not just for me, because it's not just about my personal journey with the law of attraction, but I'm taking you on the journey with me. You're watching the video. So I look at it as a message for you. Take what resonates with you. I don't know why you wouldn't want to take it, because guys, the tarot card, it popped up and it came to me in the upright position. Now, if you're familiar with tarot readings and tarot cards and all that, the tarot cards can come out. You could pull the card out and it could be in the upright position. With that, there is a meaning. But if it comes reversed, then there is another meaning. And a lot of times, if you're looking at like a positive tarot card and it comes up in reverse, that is the challenge of the card. Now, on the other hand, I look at it as, if you, on the other hand, you go and you do a tarot reading, or you're doing a tarot reading for someone else, whatever, and you get a card that's looked at as negative, and it comes up reversed, then that would be kind of like reversing the meaning of it. It would be putting it in more of a positive light. Say you get this is a terrible tarot card. Okay. You get a tarot card that you don't want to get, but for whatever reason, you have picked it and it's reversed. So it would then be upright. So then, for the most part, if it's a negative tarot card, now you're looking at the positive points. It's turning upright. So now the idea of it's being reversed. This is the positive aspect that can come from that negative card. So I hope I've explained that right. So with that being said, guys, there is a positive message that I have to deliver. I could have looked more into this tarot card. But just because of the amount of time that that I was working with, and all the other different things that started to play out in the story, I've told you 2 different stories that comes from, that originated from the Corpse Bride, the Cemetery Bride, the Corpse Bride, whatever you want to call it. Obviously every day there are stories of love that goes wrong. We don't like them, but love doesn't always work out the way we want it to work out. Just because you got married, it wouldn't have to obviously end in this terrible way, if you know what I mean. But sometimes people get married and they say those vows, and it's not till death do us part. It's that, well, they kind of didn't go through with it, I guess, and honor their vows, and they get a divorce. Today the divorce rate is crazy right now. Um, and that's why, lawyers are busy. And so, but that's not the best story either. So it doesn't always happen to where till death do us part, but it doesn't have to be as bad as The Corpse Bride, you know what I mean? But there's always stories of love gone wrong. So I could refresh this story and give this Corpse Bride life again. And with that being said, right now, guys, it is 10:10. It's 10:10 at night. I've now gone over an hour talking, which I told you I don't have a hard time doing that when I go live. And I start talking to you guys, because I really feel like anybody who joins my lives, whatever, obviously we have something in common, and I like talking to you. I like talking to you. There could be somebody that I know could live, a blood relative or something that, we may get along or whatever, but they don't know this much about me. Right. But right now, we are joined together as a collective. And I just saw that it was 10:10. With that being said, we are joined together as a collective. I want you to go ahead and think about something that you are trying to manifest, and look at it as it's already been delivered to you. The universe has already delivered it to you. 10:10, that's an angel number. It's two tens backed up. And actually, guys, within this month, obviously this is the 10th month. October is the 10th month. Earlier this month, we had the 10:10 portal. And I've often read that when it comes to 10:10, it's basically like spiritual awakening, because right now, we are within the year of a number 9 year. Why are we in a number 9 year? We're in a number 9 year because this year is 2025. If you take those numbers, you add them all up, 2025, you add them all up, you have the number 9. So that makes it a number 9 year. It's also said to be the year of the snake, the Chinese year of the snake. Okay, now what is the energy behind that? This is a snake and a number 9 year. This is the energy. The whole idea of this is the energy of change and transformation. And if you have had a hard year, if you're going through a rough patch right now, I know that this year hasn't been the easiest for me. The last couple of years really hasn't been the easiest for me, but I'm not saying that everything's terrible, but this year has been challenging. There has been some crazy challenges to in my life this year. And it's so sad that right now, like if you have gone through different challenges and you're being tested and all that, things are a little bit like chaotic. That's actually a good thing, because of the fact that in order for you to have change, there's got to be chaos. So there might be some uprooting and things going on right now, but the idea next year, and think about the energy of a snake. Snakes are about change and transformation. Why the year of the snake? Because snakes are the symbol of change and transformation, because when a snake sheds its skin, it's leaving something behind. It no longer needs that skin, so it leaves it behind. You could go out in your yard, and I've done it before. I don't like doing it. I don't like when it happens, but I don't. But whatever, if you were to go outside or whatever, or you see a snake skin randomly, you just see one, okay, it means that the snake left something behind. So it's so sad that this might be a sign that there is going to be some changes taking place in your life. So and the idea is, maybe you are going through a lot of crazy chaos right now, but hang on to your hats, hold on. Say your positive affirmations, say your prayers, whatever you want to call it, and just go with the flow and work through it. Because it's so sad that right now that's where you're supposed to be. If you're going through these, whatever the changes are, you're being led to something better. Like something is there's some endings. There are probably some crazy endings going on right now. And even right now, if you think about it, this is the 10th month. October and all that. This is Scorpio season right now. And the actual tarot card that goes along with Scorpio is the Death card. That's a feared card, but it doesn't always have to mean it doesn't necessarily have to mean like a physical death. It could very well be just the death of something that needed to go. Like it could be the ending of a job. So that's the death of a job. Like it's an ending. That's just it's an ending. You got fired or you left the job or whatever. That's the ending. But with that ending, there is a beginning. So there's a good point to that tarot card. And even if there is a certain deck that I've talked about a baby and all that tonight. I'm just feeling called to say this right now. There is a certain deck, guys, where in the deck, the tarot deck, I think it may be called, what is it? The Santa Maria? Maria? I've probably pronounced it wrong and I do apologize. But there is a deck where the actual death featured in the death tarot card is a skeleton. It's a skeleton figure and she's pregnant. The skeleton is pregnant in the death tarot card. Why is she pregnant? It's because with death, see, there's new life. There's new life. There's something else that's trying to be born. There's something ended, so something else can begin. With every ending, there is a new beginning. So even if you pick that tarot card, if that pops up on you, if you're into tarot, don't necessarily be like scared and thinking somebody's gonna croak, right? I've gotten that tarot card before. I also want to say that my mom was a Scorpio, and my mom was a Scorpio, and that's a part of her. Through her illness, my mom's not living anymore. She's, in the spirit world, and it's so sad that right now we are kind of within the spirit world. The veil is said to be thin right now. Halloween's here. The veil is thin as anything. Like there are altars set up. People have altars set up right now for their deceased or crossed over loved ones right now, because it's said that they might be trying to communicate with you. Tomorrow, what is it called? All Saints Day? Guys, I could talk forever. Is it called All Saints Day, the Day of the Dead? There are what do I want to say it? There are the word's not coming to me, where death is actually celebrated. Like there are altars right now, somewhere in the world, where there are altars set up right now, where people have altars set up for their deceased loved ones, their ancestors. They might have food set up for their loved ones that have crossed over. They might have, say you had an uncle that smoked cigars. I had an uncle that liked cigars. I could lay out a cigar on the altar for him. Okay. There are people that might have like a little bit of liquor. If they had someone, a deceased loved one that had a liquor or something, a drink that they liked, they could set it out for them. And it's like greeting them, saying, okay, you've returned. This is for you. I've set this up for you. That's working with your ancestors, right? Today, it might be a thing of where you might, play music. I started to do it today. I was kind of busy, but I thought about my mom, and there was a song that I can remember, that she liked. And, I'm like, what song could I play for her? I thought about playing that song for her. There's lots of songs that my mom liked, and I liked, and I could have played for her today or tomorrow. Or you get what I'm saying. The veil said to be thin. I just wanted to share that with you. But my mom was a Scorpio, and it was through her death, and not even before with her death. It started with her illness. Through her illness and all that, I really got deep into the law of attraction. And the reason why I really got deep into the law of attraction with her illness was because I looked at her life and how even through her sickness, it had been cut short, because she wasn't expecting to get sick at such a young age. And she got sick, and eventually she succumbed to the illness, and she passed away from it. She succumbed and she passed away. But with all that, it was very, very hard. But through that, in that time period where she was going through her illness and then later on her death, I really jumped really into the law of attraction and spirituality. Like I really opened that book really. The first book that I ever read, when I got into the law of attraction was a book called The Secret. You may already know what that book is. I think probably a lot of people, they might start there. But yeah, I gathered a lot of information from that book. But yeah, that started my spiritual journey really. I've always been into witchy things though. Like, I don't want to give away age, but come on now, Practical Magic that came out at a certain point. Practical Magic, those are Halloween movies that definitely we think of right now. Practical Magic, The Craft. I've got both movies. I wanted to make a short with that. If I get a chance, I'll still do that. I'd probably get some views on that if I made it a short. I've got both, the first, like The Craft, the original, and guys, I want to share it. It's actually in VHS form. Yes, I said it. It is in VHS form. Okay. And obviously, I don't watch it, but I still have it. And I said it. I just shared it with you guys. Because I stumbled across it really, but I'm not even going to say that. I had that because I love that movie and I'm into witchy things. I can't lie. I am year round. I'm into witchy things. Love my tarot cards. I want a crystal ball, all that. Um, I have The Craft, and then I have, the second, the Craft, like the second one. It's the DVD's red. And it's just the continuation of the story. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to share that. But guys, wow, like I've really gotten off into a lot of talking, but maybe I might get a chance to make a little short about that because I think that would probably be pretty popular today. So you know what, why not give it a try? But yeah, I've got both of those. I may have Practical Magic. I might have it, but I'm not gonna lie. I like The Craft a lot better than Practical Magic. Practical Magic almost it scared me really. That one really. I mean, I got some things out of it, don't get me wrong, and I think that I have that probably packed away somewhere like in storage or something. Practical Magic. But either way, I've seen it and I've actually watched it within the last couple of days. But yeah. So I don't even know how I got to that. But guys, I basically shared with you a little bit about, I told you, I think that where all this started is because I saw the number 1010, and this is the 10th month. And within this month, we actually had a 1010 portal. We had a 1010 portal. I shared with you guys, and 1010 is basically the idea of spiritual awakening. And if you think about it, next year, we're going to be in a number 10 year. And if you take the number 10, it's so said that basically the number, whenever you have a zero, it amplifies the energy of whatever numbers are with it. Whatever number's with it, it amplifies it. So you've got a zero with the number 10, you've got a zero. And before that zero, you've got a number 1. So there is a powerful energy, amplification, a charge to that number 1. And I don't know about you, but when I think about the number 1, I think about myself. I think about numero uno. I think about myself. So, and I just think about, I've even heard it that today, like if you're into like basically today being like the witch's new year, like this is the witch's new year, like celebration. Come on now, guys. Celebration. Okay. There's people, working some energy tonight, right? That was, and I'm going to share that was a part of Practical Magic that I didn't like. They sacrificed a bird, and I love animals. There's no way I could do it. There was a woman that was so taken by some woman, some woman that was so taken by a man, so crazy, sick in love, where she wanted, she actually went forward with having, sacrificed a bird, a live bird. It was a needle or whatever. And I didn't like that part. Sacrificed the bird, took its life, for a man. Me, I love animals and I love birds. And I tell you one thing, that's a thing that's said to be going on right now because of Halloween. People, if you went to a pet store right now, I've gone to I think it was either PetSmart or something like that one year, and I saw all these black cats. And I'm like, what's going on? And it was in the month of October. And the young lady explained to me that worked there, explained to me that the reason why that every year they go and they try to get black cats because they're doing it to keep them safe, because there are people that sacrifice black cats during the month of Halloween. And not I love black cats. I actually have a black cat. I was trying to kind of manifest one. I'd been listening to a black cat meditation, and I've been listening to it for a while, and it actually happened. I have a little black cat that he visits me. I do believe that he has an odor. Like I heard that, but if it hadn't have been for that, I was gonna own him, because I wasn't gonna let that black cat keep running around, and I wasn't gonna let that happen. I wanted the cat, but then there was somebody that told me that it was like a neighborhood cat. So yeah, but cat visits me. A couple of days ago, the cat visited me, and I knew it was him because there's something distinct about him about her that let me know it was her. And I'm like, I hadn't seen her in a while. Last time I saw the cat was like the end of like summer. And for whatever reason, I went out to my car. There was something that I wanted to get from my car, and she just steps out. I'm thinking a thought, right? Because it said when you see a lot of people think that black cats are supposed to be so evil or whatever. I hope nobody here thinks that. Like, if you're watching this, I hope I can change your mind. They're beautiful. It's like a little panther. And I'm sitting in my car, and all of a sudden I'm thinking whatever, and I'm thinking random thoughts. I was actually thinking kind of negative, for real. I was thinking negative. And all of a sudden I'm looking at a particular like bush, right, in my yard, and out she steps. She just steps out. I see her little paws, and she looks up. She looks over, and we make eye contact. And I thought that I could get her to come to me, but she didn't come to me. She stood there for a little bit. She walked out from the bush. She stood there for a little bit, and she places her paws out, and then she just turns around and has her whole body faced, towards me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I haven't seen you. I've been thinking about you. No lie. This is what I've been thinking about this cat. I'm hoping that she's safe. I don't want her to get hit by a car or anything like that. And I'm just like, I have been thinking about you. Where have you been? And I'm so happy to see you. And I hadn't seen this little black cat since the end. It was probably like August. And I was wondering where she was. Was she okay? And no lie, thinking about her, praying for her, really. And here she popped up. And I'm like, I just want to know you're okay. Like, come back and visit me whenever. And if she didn't have a home, I definitely she'd be mine, right? And but she comes out, and I saw her, and it was just like 3 days before Halloween, and I'm like, okay, man, I'm doing something right, because it said when you see a black cat, it's actually it's a wonderful thing. Like, you are within your power. Like, you're manifesting. Like, think about, be careful what you're thinking of, like, because you're manifesting, like, at a fast rate. And I truly believe it. I was thinking a little bit negative. There were negative thoughts that were kind of passing through my mind at that point. And when I saw her, my energy completely shifted. I'm like, oh, come on now. I've been wanting to see you, haven't seen you in I don't know how long, and now here a couple of days before Halloween, I see you. Magical moment, right? Okay, guys. But guys, this is why I'm a talker. Not everybody knows it, but you guys do. I want to thank you guys. Anybody that has joined me, anybody who's stayed with me for this long. It's not going to be long before I'm going to shut this down. But again, I just wanted to kind of tell you the energy of the number 10, because it is about spiritual awakening. Together as a collective, we saw I looked at my phone and it was 1010. So I wanted to share it with you guys, let you know the energy of the number 10. I told you about this energy this year of the number 9, but this is about transformation. But next year we're stepping into a new way, a new way. And I wonder if you guys can feel it. I can feel it. It was kind of, I've seen in lots of videos and, heard a lot in the spiritual community that being that today is Halloween, the witch's new year, basically the witch's new year, this is like the start, a new beginning, right? The wheel of the year, this is the start, right? Okay. Magical night, you get what I'm saying. Basically the idea I've seen in a lot of places is that basically your higher self is joining you right now. It's like saying goodbye to, like, let's just say it, death to your old ways, death to negative thoughts, death to stupid habits. Like, in order to change, there's going to be some habits you're going to have to give up on. There's going to be things that you're going to have to leave behind. And with that being said, you are welcoming, basically, you're earthing or bringing down a better timeline, a higher timeline, a new you. So it's death to that old stuff. Like, we're putting that to bed, like, bye-bye. We're done with it. This is a new day. And when we step into the new year, which today for witches, it's said to be, this is the witch's new year. Now, when we when every, you might say, and I celebrate it, when with everybody, the new year, when it comes in, it'll be the 12th month, the 31st of December, and then you've got January 1st. That's the first day of the new year. Then you've got New Year's Day. And that everybody's making their resolutions. They're thinking about what they're trying to bring in, what they're trying to bring down. So again, that's another new year. But with that, we do that thing of, we have the resolutions and stuff. And it's all about, you're calling in a new timeline. You're calling in your highest timeline, your higher self. And I've heard that that's basically what, for witches, that's what today is. Like, you're saying bye-bye, and especially it's an added energy this year because this is a number 9 year. It's about change. So be the change that you wish to see in the world. Like, starts with you. You don't know what I look like, or anything like that, but if the first time that I went live, guys, the first time that I went live was on the 8th month, 8th day. Before that, obviously I go by Shadow Girl Sherry. You don't know what I look like, whatever like that. I was thinking about, during the Lionsgates portal, the 8th month, 8th day, and the Lionsgates portal, if you're watching this right now, you may already know what the Lionsgates portal is. It happens, the height of it every year is on the 8th month, 8th day. That's the height. Okay, that's the heightest, the height of the portal, the 8th month, 8th day. It's said to be a time where your manifestation abilities are much higher. Not everybody knows it, but keep your thoughts positive, do your positive things, say your positive affirmations. And guys, it's Leo season. That's Leo season, and it's said to be a time to step out, be bold, and be your authentic self, right? So I was thinking that my idea was either I wanted to come out and show you guys, like, kind of leave Shadow Girl behind and show you guys what I look like, either during Halloween, because the idea was, okay, I'm going to step out when everybody else is dressed up in their costumes. I'm going to come out and maybe be dressed up in the costume, but you would really see what I look like. You would see my face. You would know what I look like. Maybe I would have face paint on, or maybe I would just have a costume on, but you would know what I look like. So I was going to, while everybody else was, I guess faking it really, I was going to come out, step out, be bold on Halloween, either on that day and show you what I look like. You'd see the real, me, not just hear my voice. Or my idea was to step out during the Lionsgates portal, be bold, and hey, I'm going to come out, ollie ollie oxen free, whatever, ready or not, here I come. And I was going to step out and bring it to you for the Lionsgates portal. I was a little bit of a cowardly lion and kind of playing it safe. And there's so many reasons why I don't post all kinds of pictures on social media and all that. Not just here, but social media. I'm not big on sharing pictures of myself, sharing what I'm doing, my plans. My idea is to move in silence, besides with you guys. And, I share things with you, and, we kind of do spells and all that different stuff, but it's about improvement. Okay. I do think that, when it comes to other things, social media, not everybody's your friend. Just because somebody put in a friend request for you, they're not necessarily your friend. They could just be coming to nose in your business. And what's this word I've been hearing a lot about? Oh, what is it? A monitoring spirit, right? Okay, I'll have to make a video about that. Energy vampires, destiny swapping, all that different. I'm not for it, right? I'm trying to rise, and basically that's the reason, that's the main reason why I don't entertain all that. I don't post everything like for everybody to see. And um on social media, I'm not big on showing my pictures. How there people share pictures of their lives, their baby's just been born, and the next thing you know, it's right up for everybody to see. There used to be a time where it wasn't that way. So I think I've explained that a little bit of the energy of Shadow Girl Sherry. And also it's because of, obviously, even before I found out, I was calling myself Shadow Girl Sherry. I didn't know what shadow work was, but obviously if I've called myself Shadow Girl, this was like my inner child or my shadow self saying, you need to do some shadow work. And I found out about that because I kept getting videos that popped up that was telling me about shadow work. So, and it makes sense. So, if you're into that, you want to do shadow work, guys, I hope you'll choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things, leave comments. I love candles. And on the 8th month, 8th day, my idea was to uh, possibly come out and show you what I look like. You would see what I see when I look in the mirror, right? But I didn't do that. What I did was, before that point, I hadn't gone live before. You would hear my voice or whatever, and I'd make pre-recorded videos, but I never went live. It was about trying to control things and all that. And even now I feel like I have a sense of control because you're still looking at a picture right now. Like you're not looking at like like something, and then like there's not a picture, and then like somebody could walk out. That happened during COVID-19. There were people that were trying to have like meetings and stuff, and I think I like heard that there was a video that was going around where somebody had come out and they didn't know that there was a meeting being going on, like home, like a meeting, while you're at home. And somebody was working from home, and then one of their family members comes out like hardly dressed. And hey, that wasn't scripted. It wasn't scripted. This was just everyday living and whatever. And he wasn't thinking about it. And here now, other people are seeing it. So that's why I like to set things up this way. Like I like to maintain a little bit of control, right? I just think I like it this way. Not to say that there won't be times that I won't. And I think I have one video where I went live and it wasn't like a still picture, right? But basically the reason why I said that is because I started talking about somewhere along the line, I started talking about what you see in the mirror, what you're facing in the mirror. Somewhere I'll see it when I watch the replay, which if you want to come back and watch this replay in its entirety, you're not going to be able to watch it here on TikTok. Because here on TikTok is all about ticking and talking, and you got to get the video done, the live done within an hour. So this obviously is not going to be here on the replay, is not going to be on TikTok. What I will do is I will make clips of it. But I also have a short of this that I did that I'm going to, along with the clips, I'm going to put that short up. Just kind of the day that I set this up, I made a little short video where I was getting up in close and personal with as I was making it up or whatever. So, if you want to see that, then you come back, you see it. But for whatever reason, I was talking about the man, the woman, okay, the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, whatever. I think it was because I don't know why I was saying that. I think I was talking about, the fact of numeral uno, like the energy of yourself, being on your highest timeline, being your authentic self. Okay, I think that's what it was about. But I one of the things that I did, I'm going to say this, when I first went live, the first time I went live, I found a way in turning a upside down mirror into a stage. That was the second time I went live, actually. But the first time I went live, it was entitled Lights, Camera, Action. And it was all about kind of getting over a little bit of stage fright and at least going live. Coming at you guys going live and giving up on being nervous. And obviously, I'm not nervous anymore. I love spending time with you guys. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this, Witch's New Year, if you consider yourself to be a witch. Or maybe you just dressed up as a witch. Or if you didn't dress up as a witch, maybe you're into witchy things. Maybe you're a bit of a closet witch. You don't want everybody around you to know that you do little things here and there, whatever. But to make you feel more comfortable, again, I'm going to say my channel Sunset Songs is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction, where there are those that really do look at the law of attraction as witchcraft. But if I can make you feel more comfortable with that, I'm going to say witchcraft as in which way do you want to go? Do you choose to go down a path where you're waking up every day and you're just living a mundane life? Or are you waking up and you're being thankful and grateful for the fact that you woke up, that you've got breath that you are breathing? There are those that didn't wake up, okay? You woke up and you are manifesting and working on the life of your dreams. You're living in an intentional way. That's my idea. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to live in a mundane, boring way? Or do you want to live life in an intentional, like magic way, where you're looking for signs, you're looking for signals, you're looking for synchronicities. You're kind of, looking at the universe to kind of guide you and let you know what's going on. How am I doing? You know what angel numbers are. When you see angel numbers, you are saying your affirmations. You see an angel number and you might think, well, depending on what the angel number is, this might be a time for me. Like if you see that, maybe you might consider 369 to be like an angel number. I've made videos about it. You see those numbers together, that might be, you see the number 369, it might kind of coax you or give you the idea that, hey, I'm seeing it. And if you keep seeing it, I'm going to go do that 369 method, right? That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to introduce that idea because, again, I call myself Shadow Girl Sherry. One thing about this is, I really know, that there are people that I know, family members, whatever, that may look at, think, oh, well, she thinks she's a witch or whatever, or she's doing like witchy kind of stuff or tarot cards and all that, and she's evil. No, that's not my idea. Like, that's not the idea. My idea is not like hexing people. It's when it comes to me, it's not about, that intense energy trying to hex people and thinking somebody else is that important to where I'm going to put a hex on them. This is about me. Now, this is my personal journey with the law of attraction where, yes, it's about you guys, obviously. But we're trying to be positive and manifest and alchemize our best lives. My idea is I'm not trying to hex because I don't have time for that. More so when I'm thinking about any kind of energy like that, I'm trying to protect. I don't want anything coming my way, and I'm unguarded and I'm not protected. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not about hexing. Because I think that kind of stuff comes back on you. That's just me though. That's just me. That's just me. But guys, there are those in my, that I know that would look at this and say, what is she trying to do? She's doing evil things. I've been around people that have said things that have really made me think, oh, they know about my channel. I've kept it under wraps and whatever, undercover, whatever, closet, whatever, because I don't want anybody to trying to shut down what I'm trying to do. Right. I enjoy this. I really do. I enjoy this. I love going live. So, and I'm not about letting people talk me out of it, talk me out of my dreams. So that's what that's all about. But there, would be those that would say, oh, well, evil. No, if they know me, and people that know me in real life should know that I really don't, I'm not about evil. If I could I've said it before here on my channel, if I could had an army, it would be an army of harmony. I would be spreading harmony. I kind of feel like that's what my channel is about. I'm trying to spread some harmony. An army of harmony. But when there's bad, there's negative things. Things aren't always love and light. I'm trying to alchemize it. So guys, again, I want to quickly say something about, again, this tarot card, because I should have said it a while ago. The Ace of Wands. Now, again, this popped up for me, and I explained it earlier in the video why this particular tarot card is laid out in this video. I really do believe it was a message for me, but because if you are watching this video, I'm sharing the message with you. Take what resonates. Obviously I want to do, videos, make a video about all the tarot cards, but for right now, I'll come back sometime, hopefully, and talk about more of the energy that goes with this tarot card. But for right now, guys, I just want you to take into account that I didn't make this up. I had a story that I told about the cemetery bride. The story was called The Finger. You'd have to listen to it. And the guy is walking. There is a man that's, walking along. He thinks he puts a wedding ring that he was going to give, to his wife, to be. He's walking along. He stumbles upon a stick. A tree branch or a stick or whatever, small tree branch, whatever, is protruding up from the ground. He thinks it's a stick, a little stick protruding up from the ground. He puts a ring on it. Okay. It's a whole story behind it. It's one of the cemetery bride stories, right? Look at go back and watch this video. I'll put it up again on, my channel, Sunset Songs. Okay. But the idea is he takes the ring and he puts it on the stick. It turns out to be a woman that was murdered, and she's dead. And, it's a whole story, but the idea was he thought it was a stick. I go to my own personal tarot deck looking for the Lover's Tarot card to lay out in this video. And guys, this is the only card that popped out. And this card is called the Ace of Wands. The card is called the Ace of Wands. Guys, the Ace of Wands is basically a hand. I just told you about a hand. I've told you about a finger. Okay. This tarot card, in this card, basically a hand pops up. It's kind of like a hand of the divine. Whatever you think the divine is. Shows up. There's clouds around it. It shows up. It's like the hand of the divine. That hand, it's like an opportunity coming your way. And the hand is holding a stick up. This card is called the Ace of Wands. I just thought this was so crazy because I was making a video where I'm talking about a stick, and I was talking about a hand. I go to my own personal tarot deck looking for the Lover's Tarot card, and this card separates itself from all the other cards. It pops up. If you know about tarot, you know how that happens. You know how that goes. And the good thing about it is, guys, I'm delivering a positive message for you, because this card is a positive card and it's come upright. Now, if it came in reverse, it would be the challenge of the card. But this is nothing but good energy here. I want to read you a couple of words that kind of represents the Ace of Wands. And guys, take it and run and work with it. Take it, run with it, and work with it. Okay? This card represents inspiration, new beginnings, igniting energy, momentum, a spark of creativity, a flash of genius. Like all the aces in the tarot, it's good news. There's an opportunity that you want to be looking out for that I do believe is coming your way. I do believe that right now you should act on your ideas. It's a card of basically saying yes. And when I think about saying yes, hey, we're also talking about love. We've talked about marriage. Guys, take action. Guys, any minute now, my phone's going to die because it's at 1%. Guys, spiritual awakening. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this session, that, this addition to my channel, Sunset Songs. Guys, I've had so much fun with you guys, spending Halloween with you guys. I just want to wish you all a very, very happy Halloween. And I'm about to shut this down before my phone dies. Guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. Thank you so much for watching. And please consider liking, clicking, sharing, and subscribing. This is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. Thank you so much and take care. I got to figure out how to shut this down before my phone dies. Before my phone dies.